All right. Good morning. I just have to turn off my sound here because it's giving me a bit of feedback, but all good. There we go. How is everybody this morning? Welcome, welcome. Always good. And let's get into it. It is CPI day, as always. But before we get into that, thanks for everybody that's tuning in. If you're watching this live, welcome. We'll say hi in a second, as always. But if you're watching this on the replay, we go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific time to about 8:45. We ran late yesterday, though, so we are known to go a bit longer if questions are asked and comments are made. So always good to have everybody join on. But if you do miss the live stream, you can always catch it on the replay. Always on the channel on the replay. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Big day, CPI day. I've got so many tabs open here. I always have way too many tabs open on my computer in the morning reading news. But let's see who's here today, and hopefully the chat's working. And yes, it is. There we go. Good morning, Candace. Always good to have you. You're always the first one on, which is good. If anybody can beat Candace in the morning, you get I don't know. We'll have to find some kind of prize. But Candace seems to be the first one. Always appreciated. And I saw your joke, and I will bring up your joke in a minute after we say good mornings. I was laughing when I saw that. These pun jokes are great. Paul, good morning. Coffee. I have my coffee. The coffee crew is here. Coffee today is good. And Stan, always good to have you back. Always good to be here. Thanks, Stan. Hopefully you have coffee or tea or whatever you drink. All good. And so starting off, I love these chats for when the live stream is kind of ready to go. You can always throw in a chat before it starts. And Candace, I love stupid pun jokes. Why did the stock market go to the bar? To stock up on some liquid assets. That's just terrible, but it's good. A friend of mine, we always send each other stupid pun jokes all the time on Messenger, and I'll have to send that one to her. It was so bad. It's like these bad dad pun jokes are always good. So there we go. CPI day in the States, obviously. Today we're all waiting for this. We had if you checked your portfolio yesterday, a decent day yesterday. I was happy to kind of see that. It's kind of nice to see a good day. It's nice to see things in my TFSA starting to move up slowly but surely, which is good. Bitcoin had a bit of a rally last night too, which was nice to see for my Bitcoin. That should hopefully translate a little bit into BTC.Y. We'll see how that goes. Oh, so ChatGPT wrote jokes. Bad pun joke. If you find any more, feel free to. If anybody has any pun jokes, fire them into the chat. We'll keep it light today, and see if we can get some terrible jokes. I never thought to use ChatGPT for a joke. I'm going to go in there and maybe find some. There's a Twitter account I follow, Candace. I forget what it's even called, pun something or other, punny or whatever, but it always posts these stupid jokes as well that I follow. So on that note, let's just get into the meat and potatoes CPI today. I have that open today. So again on Twitter, you'll see it in every news article about the states going CPI was on the mark, what the predictions were. But the reason I brought up Twitter is Lynn Alden, and if anybody is on Twitter and doesn't follow Lynn Alden, you should. If you're somewhat into finance, she's very bright. Some of the things I know she talks about go over my head, but she does have a good way. If you ever catch her tweets are good. She does have a newsletter that she does, and she does have a free newsletter. So I would kind of actually suggest a lot of people, if you're interested in any kind of finance, sign up for her free newsletter. It's quite interesting. She just sends it out once a month, so it's not like you're going to get spammed, sign up and get spammed like crazy. She's not like that. She has a free newsletter. And then if you want to sign up for a paid, does have a paid version as well. I haven't signed up for that, but I think the paid one goes a bit more in depth, and she does that monthly. So it gives you a bit more access to things as a member, and it's not very expensive from what I think it's only, less than a couple $100 a year if you're into that. But her free one is very good. She talks about what she's investing in, where she sees the market, very, very macro outlooks, and for her she's really interesting. And also really interesting, if you can find check out, if she has a lot of interviews that she does on podcasts and YouTube channels that she's very good to listen to. She'd be a great person to sit down, I think, over dinner with, and just listen to her. But she does her tweets can be a bit advanced sometimes, but her interviews, depending who's interviewing her, she does a very good job of kind of bringing it down to my level, so you can understand what she's talking about. Depending on the interview, she does a good job of explaining kind of what's going on. So I wanted to bring on that. So anyways, headline CPI, obviously we're coming down. This is the States. I'm going to assume it's going to be very similar in Canada when we get ours, down to, as predicted, 6.45% down from 7.1 last month. So things are coming down. You can see I figured this was a good chart because you can kind of see how it is. Inflation is coming down. So that's a good thing. The market kind of is doing what the market's doing in regards to that. And we'll have to see how things continue. I think we're still kind of going to be in that downtrend, I mean, all signs are pointing to rates going up, and Bank of Canada for sure. And I'm going to assume the Fed is going to be exactly the same, probably 25 basis points going forward. So I think we're hitting kind of hopefully that top, the peak, obviously as we see coming down. But when I say peak, hopefully the top peak of rates. We'll see what happens as we go through. So that's the big news. If that's the big news today, you can dig into that a bit more if you do want to, when you do have some time to go back and check out the news. As always, if anybody has any questions, comments as we go, it's a good group of people here. We will. I'll do my best to answer them, but if a lot of times if I can't answer them, someone on the chat will be able to, for sure. If this is your first time as well watching the chat, if you're subscribed, you can type in a question, comment. All appreciated. We'll see where the conversation goes. This is as much about you, engaging as opposed to just me talking at everybody all the time. So it's a good time to get some questions out and have a little bit of back and forth to see where the comments go. Let's see here. I have one other article actually, because we were talking about this, and if it's always. There was a few people on the channel that invested, and we'll pull it up, Algonquin. So I don't have Algonquin in my portfolio. It took a big drop last week, a week before, but they've just come out. I know a few people had bought some. Obviously, everybody does their own research, picks their own stocks and ETFs and everything else. But their dividend is been cut by 40%, unfortunately. So quarterly dividend pays 10.85 cents per share, down from 18.8 cents per share. So not good. They're going to be selling $1 billion in assets as part of a plan to strengthen its financial position. Not looking good. I think, Candace, you did a video on Algonquin, kind of more of a deep dive. So if anybody's looking for some more information on Algonquin and what the heck is happening, you can check out Candace's video. She did a great job on what's going on with Algonquin, which unfortunately isn't isn't looking good when dividends have to get cut, unfortunately. That's one worry I have with I have TransAlta Renewables in mind. Their 2023 outlook isn't looking that great either. They haven't cut dividends yet, but that's something I'm keeping an eye on for sure. With my holdings, I have a small position in that. So that's something I'll be keeping an eye on mine. On my portfolio going forward. Other than that, my portfolio, I will get another update after, because it's past the midweek, which is nice, and it's been a decent week for the market. So I've got a bit of green coming up there, which is nice in mine. So I'll do another video on the channel that I will share just of the update. And I do have another update coming for the Wealthsimple Venture Fund. There was another dividend paid and reinvested into PSU. That's the Purpose US high interest account. It's still not, you always get a sneak peek on the live streams. It still hasn't gone any further in terms of it's just sitting in cash right now. But from what I've received any kind of communication, it is supposed to start kind of getting the first tranche taken off and invested in this month at some point. So probably towards, I guess, the end of the month, we'll see what happens. But it is fully closed off. You can't deposit any more in there. You can't take any money out of there. It's in there waiting to go. So that's the update on that one. And it's always good. Let's check out, let me just close off my other tabs here. I always like to kind of look now what we've started to do what we've started to do on the channel as well is kind of keep an eye on some of the we call it the coffee crew, but kind of keep an eye on some of the stocks and ETFs that people in the chat mentioned. So we've got kind of a list growing up. I've added a few. So if anybody has anything that they're kind of watching or want to possibly try and find a bit more info on, I started a list. We started just on Google Finance because it seems to be kind of the most simplest way and easy for everybody to see. So I have started that. I have added a couple on there. One we were talking about yesterday was Aritzia, and we can actually talk about Aritzia a little bit. I don't know if MC was talking about yesterday. I don't know if they're here today, but Aritzia had their earnings yesterday, and I mean, I think they were, as I read it, they were good, but obviously market reacts differently than what I see. It wasn't as much, I guess, as expected. So down a little bit today. I think maybe what happened is people probably just taking profits off the table. Maybe I don't know. With Aritzia, I don't own any Aritzia, but that was out today. Yeah, you do have. I figured you did, Candace. You did have a deep dive. It was requested. Now I forget who was asking about it. Anyways, if you're watching and if you haven't seen it yet, and you were one of the ones that mentioned Algonquin, it's on Candace's channel. You can always check it. I'll admit it's on my watch list. Candace, your videos are all on my watch list. This is just a matter of like getting through all videos. Not just your channel, but if I don't own a stock or share that doesn't have any interest on me, I don't always watch right away. That's the thing. But they're all on there. I eventually will get to it. I have this habit on YouTube of making my as I see videos, I put them all on my watch later, and that's how then I go back and watch videos. But sometimes my watch later list can get quite substantial, so I kind of jump around and I do watch everything. But that was I haven't watched that one yet. What I was watching last night, which I found. Noon cage match. Sorry, let's bring the full scene back here. Cage match, yeah. So people that are watching, I'm going to be watching this one because I do own Telus. I want to add hopefully to my Telus position. Hopefully, we'll see what happens after this cage match. But Candace is doing a cage match on Telus, Bell, and Rogers, right? If I'm not mistaken. So she's doing like the knockout video to see which is the best of. Usually she does two companies side by side battle, but this time it's cage match with the Canadian carriers, cell phone carriers, internet. So that's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. my time. So after the live stream, everybody will be able to go to Candace's channel and watch her latest video. There we go. Awesome. I will watch that afterwards, Candace. I always have some time first thing after 9 o'clock, kind of before my day starts. So I will watch that. Talking about YouTube and watch later lists and stuff like that, I watched last night. Candace, you might be interested in this one. You have a YouTube channel, and there's a couple other people that are on the chat that are thinking of starting YouTube channels. Check out the Lex Friedman podcast. He just did a podcast interview of Mr. Beast, and I think probably, I don't know if not everybody knows who Mr. Beast is. I don't really watch a lot of Mr. Beast videos. They're not my demographic to watch, but he's obviously the most subscribed YouTuber. His videos consistently get tens of millions of views, and he had an interview. It's about I only got through about half of it because it was not because it was bad, but because Lex's podcast interviews can go for a long time, and at nighttime I just was starting to fall asleep, and I wanted to make sure I didn't fall asleep. And it's about almost 2.5 hours long, and it talks about how everything YouTube. But it gets into advertising, and it was a really interesting look on how he treats YouTube. So if you have a YouTube channel, you would find it very, very interesting for sure. And Lex is always good. He usually has good guests on, and I was liking this one. So Justin, morning. No, I haven't watched that one. It's popped up on my Netflix. I think MC mentioned that one as well before. I haven't. Is it good? I haven't been watching. What have I been watching late? I haven't really been watching Netflix lately. It's funny. I have Netflix and I don't watch a ton of it. I usually go into YouTube kind of at the end of the day, and I'll kind of watch there's certain podcasts I follow or vlog, whatever you call it, interviews, podcast style interviews that I usually like to watch on YouTube that I usually try and catch lately, kind of go in phases. The thing about Netflix, I'll watch a movie on there. It's hard if the series is good, I'm going to put it on my watch list. Justin, let me know. But I sometimes find it hard to get into series. It's just me. I kind of, you watch a couple episodes and then I go somewhere else. So that's the only thing. I started watching that one. It's the one that's in random order when you start it. I think it's Kaleidoscope. I started watching that. It was good, but I just haven't watched it since. I watched a couple episodes of it, 2 or 3, but I just haven't got back into starting it again. That's what I do with series. That's the problem. So it's a lot crazier than actually happened. Only 4 episodes, easy to blast through. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll check that out. I'll put that on. I have seen that pop up, so maybe I'll put that on my saved list to kind of give it a try. Maybe I'll try that one tonight. Yeah. I'm trying to think the last series and stuff I've watched on Netflix. I can't even remember. Probably just putting on a silly movie or something like that. But so I was just gonna pull up. There we go. So we'll pull up. Sorry, this is the Coffee Crew watch list, and see if anything else pops up. We added it. A couple we added yesterday was Air Canada. That was kind of mine to add. We added Aritzia. Bird Construction, we had a couple new visitors yesterday on the live stream, which was awesome. So we added Bird Construction, and also Stantec and WSP yesterday. So if anybody has any else, the usual ones in here. I forget who I mentioned, Current Water Technology, but they're doing, I guess, okay today on those we got the one penny stock on there. But everything else, bit of green. It's nice to see. Always good to see. And the oil, XEG, is doing okay today. I'm debating whether to put more oil in my TFSA this year in 2022. We'll have to see. That's really it's still up in the air, but we'll see how that pans out. Yeah, that was my take on it too, Candace. It was fine. It wasn't stellar. I guess it's not stellar, but it wasn't terrible either. It was what it was, and it was kind of okay to watch, but it wasn't one of those ones where you'd have to like binge all the episodes. I think the only thing I really enjoyed on Netflix for the series, I like Ozark. I watched all that like in a weekend when that came out. And I do watch Stranger Things when it comes out. That's always good. The 80s is always good. So I do kind of binge. Those are kind of 2 I binged. And what's an old one? I've watched it again actually recently. I did enjoy, obviously Narcos was good, and I really liked Narcos Mexico. I think Narcos Mexico was almost better than the other regular Narcos. So I've watched actually Narcos Mexico a couple times. Kind of put those on again. Yeah, keeps your mind off stuff. I'll keep my Netflix. I'm still searching for a subscription to cancel, and I can't get rid of Netflix. But I don't really have much more on there to maybe cancel. I've been debating on canceling Amazon Prime because I do have that, but I use Amazon a fair bit for shipping and stuff, so it's kind of handy. I guess I could kind of look at it, without faster shipping, but it's just kind of nice sometimes to put an order into Amazon and get it the next, within a day or two. Makes things easy, especially if you only order like a small one-off kind of thing that you need to pick up. So I haven't cleared off that. That's kind of about it. I really wish I could get rid of my Adobe subscription because that's my most expensive one, but I use that all the time, which is unfortunate. Well, I guess it's fortunate, but unfortunate at the same time because that one's a pricey subscription to have every month. It's about 70 some odd dollars. So that adds up over the year, but I do use it for work, so I do kind of need it. And then I also I came in today. I was checking my online banking because I had to do a transfer today, and I had bill on my credit card. I'm like, what the heck is that for? I didn't use my card, and it was my renewal for Dropbox, which I need as well. So it's like you see all these costs come in, you're like, I wish I could cancel it, but unfortunately you need it. So it would be nice to be able to cancel one more thing so I can put it into my TFSA, but we'll see. Nothing has jumped out at me yet that I can really cut back on. So other than that, in terms of portfolio, no purchases. Sticking with my plan. If anybody's bought anything, I have had my eye a little bit more on getting some more Tesla if I have some extra funds, but there won't be anything to kind of middle of the month. Got to wait for payday for that one. So we'll just continue on with just the weekly deposit on there. So new Mike, yeah. Hey Vic, it's funny, Vic, I was thinking about you yesterday. I'm like, hey Vic, I haven't seen Vic for a while. So welcome back. It's official. Yeah. I'm glad it sounds better. That's the goal. Partly sound better, but partly make things a bit easier. It's all kind of set up for the most part right now. I still have a second camera I want to set up, but I haven't yet. I'm still kind of debating because that would involve moving it around each time to kind of get it set up, or at least right now I have the microphone, camera, screen share. We're good. So it's kind of official. Something we'll get on the wall eventually, but it's nice to have just kind of a clean background as well too. There's no fuss for the most part to get things started in the morning, which makes things really easy to get on in the morning, especially if you're running a bit late. But we've done good being on time, that's for sure. Vic, we were talking about before. I'm not sure if you have just jumped in, Vic, but if you have anything, we've started off. I can share it here. We've started off a Coffee Crew stock watch list. So if you have anything that you had your eye on and you wanted to add it to the list, I will add it on there for you. We just kind of check up on it every morning and can drill in if any kind of news shows up, that kind of stuff to talk about on there. Video editor, yeah, I don't know about that. The one good thing, Vic, about doing live streams is there's no editing, which actually is really nice. When I do my other videos, they don't take a ton of time to edit, but they do take obviously time because you have to first you have to film them, then you have to edit them, then you have to export them onto your computer, then you have to upload them to YouTube. Whereas a stream, it's done for you. Once you're set up and you hit that button, it's off to the races. I could probably go back in later and cut off the beginning part if there's a bit of gap, but I just let it run, and it seems to work. It seems to work okay. So no agents at this point. The idea is to not spend money on too much money on things. But you still do a lump sum every year. Oh, okay. So you would do a lump sum on your TFSA or something every year. So last January it went down from there. Yeah, that's the part. I mean, we were talking a little bit about dollar cost averaging yesterday, and the difference between that. But it's hard to know. There we go. Morning, Chad. How are you? First time, I think, watching. So welcome to the live stream. Good group here. If you have questions, comments, let us know. It's all good. All good here. Give me 1 second here. My cat is scratching at the door like crazy. So I'm just gonna pause this for 1 sec, and I will bring her in here. All right. Now I've let her in. Of course, she wants to get out, of course, but it's all good. So good day, Chad. Good day to have you. Nice to have you here. Hopefully you can hear me. And all welcome. Maybe she'll jump up and see her, my rescue cat. She's usually pretty good when I'm going on, but there we go. Yeah, Vic. You know what? I actually don't know. Candace might know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know him at all, other than his YouTube channel. So I don't know. I don't even know if Candace knows. But so holy, yeah, wrong channel. But that's good. That's good. That's good. CPI drops the 25th. Yeah, if she, yeah, she won't come over here. So Canada, 25th CPI, is it the 25th? That's the same day as the rate increase, and we'll see what happens, Vic. Cats, they kind of drive you crazy because they want in and then they want out. We probably would get more if I had her on here, but I'm gonna let her. I'm gonna go let her out. She drives me crazy. She's usually pretty good during live stream. She's usually still sleeping, but I guess she's I don't know what she's doing. Going crazy. Might see a tail come through the camera at some point, or hear her, maybe. But, yeah, you know what? I kind of thought it did yesterday, but it seemed to do it. It seemed to do that kind of yesterday, Chad. It seems to be a bit more of a volatile day today out there. It just looked a little bit. We don't necessarily jump right on the market, but it seems to be pretty volatile, up and down, but flat a little bit for the day. We'll see. We'll see how that continues on. Everything, as we know, as everything's been kind of happening, obviously. As we see, everything can change from hour to hour. It doesn't. It's almost kind of like. It's almost kind of. It's hard to predict what's going on. So. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens, Vic. I've noticed that, and we'll see what. We'll see what. Here, I'm gonna let her out now. She's driving me crazy. There we go. Drives me nuts. Anyways, all good. They do, Vic. It's hard. I've noticed that I've noticed that as well. You can see it in your analytics on the channel. I mean, I'm sticking to it because I'm in the in for the long term. But it has, I can only speak for my channel, Vic. But the views. I mean, I'm starting to do the stream, so that's keeping the activity going. But the views typically on other videos and past videos and that kind of stuff are definitely down. But also, I think most importantly, I noticed anyways, is the subscribers are they're still growing, but it's slowed down. So we can tell we're in a bear market, and I think a lot of YouTubers have dropped off too. Not because necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily say the market, but if there's people that have just started YouTube or starting YouTube, it's harder than people, I think, first think. And it's a big investment, and it's a long term. It's like investing in your portfolio for the long term. It's a long term, slow grind for things. So that's why a lot of them kind of disappear, or other people have other, obviously you don't make any money on it when you first start, right? So you have other commitments and other jobs and things like that. And I think that's partly, Vic, maybe what with. If Candace is watching, she can maybe jump in for Ryan, but I think I remember hearing on the live stream that he's gone somewhere he's moved out of the where he was to work or something like that. So, got to pay the bills. Got to pay the bills. And yeah, the analysts were exactly right. Yeah, how it came. Yeah. And yeah, we kind of did have that yesterday, right? It kind of was picking up slowly all day. Anything can happen. I'm not really, it's hard to really, Chad. It's really hard to it's not like I'm not trading, so it's just kind of building slowly, but it's definitely volatile out there. So you have to kind of stick to it. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about Algonquin before you got on there, Vic. You can always go back, watch the replay. Reduce the dividends. Yep. Yeah. 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 So not good. MicroStrategy. Yeah, a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people in the States do that for the uh, for Bitcoin play, because they can't hold Bitcoin in there's different ETFs in the States to hold things. They don't have a spot ETF in the States, so a lot of people do use MicroStrategy. It's interesting. Maybe not for everybody. I prefer just to have Bitcoin, but that's just me. So I don't obviously, as you know, I don't have MicroStrategy in my portfolio. And no sponsors. I would want to have coffee. If I can get one, Vic, it'll be a coffee. It'll be a coffee sponsor for sure. That would be good. That would be good. Yeah. No ads yet. Still need my hour. Still. I have enough subscribers on the channel. I don't have enough watch hours. It's close actually, though. It's less than. I mean, every uh, on his on his on the hour. Sorry, I'm reading comments and talking. It's coming through my head, but. I don't have the watch hours yet. So if everybody goes back and watches 20 minutes of videos, we'll be laughing. That's what. Yeah, it went way down. Well, it follows Bitcoin, right? As we know. And Nadia, yeah, I do have sponsors on my other channel. Good morning. I guess first thing, I don't have necessarily official sponsors, but I have there's memberships on my other channel, and it's advertised, like sorry, not advertised, it's monetized. I've had on my other channel, I actually have had companies send stuff. It's what happens when you get certain level on your on channels, is companies will send you stuff. But I did have a coffee company send me a couple of big bags of coffee at one point on my channel, which was nice. It just showed up in my PO box, which was awesome. So that was good. So we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, maybe Starbucks. I don't, Chad. First time here. My coffee is Kicking Horse coffee. So if Kicking Horse is watching, I'll gladly take coffee and chill. I would chill for coffee. That is for sure. There we go. So there's your answer. Yeah, I guess as far as where in the world is, right? So there we go. Happy to help Vic. Hopefully that. There we go. Old camera equipment. It depends how old it is, Vic. I know we're getting off topic of finance, but that's okay. I do have another channel which is a lot of camera stuff. Check out KEH. Just Google KEH. They buy and sell used camera gear. It really depends on what the gear is, how old it is, whatever. But they will what they do is they will give you you basically plug in what the models are on the website, and they will basically give you a quote. A lot of times they'll actually do it over once you send in. I've sold old cameras and lenses there as well, Vic, because they'll do a Zoom video conference, so you kind of show them what you have, check the quality, and then they'll arrange to either ship it in. But if you're into cameras, Chad, good call on Henry's, is sometimes KEH, they sometimes have certain things, and I don't know if Henry's does this. I know when I was in Calgary, the camera store did it. Is they would have like KEH days where you could sell your gear to KEH and then bring it in the store to drop it off, and they would either give you a credit or give you cash. So it's up to you. So KEH is good. I found them very fair. I was using it to buy. It depends if you're wanting to buy a new camera. Sometimes they'll give you they have specials with different camera stores where you'll get like an extra 20% if you get a gift card, or 10% or whatever it is, a gift card for that camera store, and you can trade it up or what you want to do. I don't know if you're getting rid of a camera because you don't want to take at all, or you're looking to upgrade to another one. So I was able to trade in a camera and a couple of lenses and then got a new camera. So it works out. The thing with someone had mentioned eBay. Chad, you had mentioned eBay. The hard eBay, okay, sure, maybe it just takes more time to sometimes get rid of stuff, and also like if you go for something like Craigslist or Kijiji or something like that to sell things, or Facebook Marketplace, I found it just such a waste of time because you'd have so many people like lowballing you or it just back and forth, and it just sometimes it's worth it to maybe make a little bit less on something potentially, and just have it out of your hair and cash in your hand than trying to. We could consider ultimate. Yeah, well, so if you took the money from selling your things and investing it, it's investing. There we go. Yeah, we can always tie it into there. So if you sell all your gear and put it into your TFSA, covers all your bridges. So good call, Vic. I'll just make sure I haven't missed any comments. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. That's all good. That's all good. Camera gear though is expensive, unfortunately, and it's too expensive, and you always want more stuff. But there's Chad, there's so many tire kickers that it's such a pain. Yeah, or they're gonna say they'll come and pick something up and buy it, then they won't show up, or they'll come in and they'll say, oh, I'll give you less money. It's just not worth. I don't know. I just find it's not worth it, because sometimes I think time is valuable. So sometimes it's easier to not do it. But I know, again, Henry's. I'm not sure where you're located, Vic, but Henry's does sell, or sorry, does buy and trade camera gear as well. Give you a good deal. And I think you save the. I think if you trade in something and buy something, I think you actually save the tax. I think you save the I could be wrong. It's the GST. I think you save, or you save the tax on the portion that you've traded in. They take it off. So it gives you a bit of a boost. I guess there's some loophole there that they don't have to charge tax if there's something traded in. I don't know. It used to be like that anyways. Because I've done that a few times. Most camera stores will actually trade in stuff if you're buying something new. A lot of them will. You just don't necessarily get as much for it for the camera store. That's why I found KEH pretty competitive, because they are that's what they do. They just buy and sell used stuff, whereas Henry's or different places, the stuff that they buy, they have to sell. Of course, they want to sell new cameras, not necessarily old cameras all the time. On that. So there we go. Chad, I'll have to ask. We were talking about the coffee crew. If there's anything, and Chad and Vic, because you both haven't had a chance. If there's any that you want, if there's a stock or ETF that you wanted added to the kind of watch list that we're watching on the channel, let us know. If there's anything you have your eye on, these are kind of the favorites. Oh, okay, Saskatchewan. Good to know. I'm in the West Coast. I think most of the viewers are kind of West Coast, Chad. You're kind of in the middle, but also West Coast and Ontario, because I think I jump on at 8 o'clock Pacific time, and I know Henry's I believe is only in Toronto and Vancouver. There might be, I don't think there's one in Alberta, but yeah, unfortunately, usually the bigger cities, there's Henry's. Another one you could check out is I don't know if they buy used gear though the same way as VizTech. They have a decent, but I don't think they have as much used stuff. Because I know Henry's has the massive display case of. I try and stay out of Henry's, basically, because you'll want to spend all your money. It's like the Apple store of. Henry's is like the Apple store of camera gear, camera and sound and everything else. But so there we go. If you so Vic, yeah, I know if you have any ETFs that you want to watch out, let us know. We've got kind of most people's in here. I don't think we've got yours though, so just let us know on that one. Let's see. I didn't have any other news to share. So if anybody else has any news that's jumped out on them, let us know. We'll search it up, pick it up. We'll see what's these. It's always a good time to ask questions. We're kind of coming up towards, it's almost 2022, so a few more minutes left. Fire away with any questions. I'll get this scene out of the way. Fire up with any questions that you have last minute before we do take off. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, Friday, for our TGIF stream. We'll see how things are going on Friday. But all good. I don't have payday is tomorrow though, but so MDA. Let me check that one. What do they do? Let's just is it a pipe? Is it an energy pipeline? I'll add that one to the chat. I'm gonna add that one to the list. There we go. What do they do? Are they a metals company? Doesn't always give us MDA space. Let's just see here what they do. My window's going to kind of block it, but let me remove my. Let's remove that. And what do they do? Oh, space mission. Okay, space satellites. Oh, interesting. Space. Okay, that's an interesting one to watch. Good call. That's kind of fun. That's a new sector, that's for sure, Chad. So good. Is it better to dollar cost average or just cut your losses? Yeah. I dollar cost average. It's what I do. I think it takes. We've talked about it a little bit. I have a video on my channel too. You could always check out. But it takes some of these. I think it takes a lot of the stress out of if you're dollar cost averaging into companies or ETFs. I think ETFs especially that you are wanting to hold a long time. I don't think there's anything. I think dollar cost averaging is the way to go because if you're set on a schedule, you know you're going to invest in it. You don't pay attention as much to the up and down daily prices. So that's what I prefer to do. And I think a lot of people that are watching on the channel, or a lot of long-term investors probably, I think, do that. There's one. I mean, one of the popular ETFs is XEQT on the channel. I don't have it. I don't own it in my portfolio, but there's a number of people that do, and they just literally they have goals that they want to buy. You know, whatever their budget is to put in, they buy it every Monday, every Friday, or just like clockwork. And I think it was Zach. Zach hasn't been on in a while, but he has a goal of buying like a certain number of shares every month. So he just kind of does that. That's how he dollar costs. That's how he kind of averages into it. So I think it works. It works for me. It makes my life easier. And also too, like, I mean, I use Wealthsimple, and I don't know what brokerage you use, but you can also set up to automatically put those deposits in, right? And do the automatic purchases, which makes it easy and takes a lot of the stress out of it, because you're not necessarily stressed out on terms of what you're buying all the time. You're building, not trying to trade, right? I do, Chad. I do a weekly purchase. I do it on Monday, so I put $100 into my TFSA on Monday, and what I'm doing for this year is $50 in PSA, which is just a high interest savings. So keeping in cash, that might move around, obviously, eventually, but right now, just putting $50 into the cash account, high interest ETF PSA, and then I'm buying one share of VDY, and then whatever's left from that $100, it's usually about $8 ish. Depends on the price of VDY. I put it into the S&P, so I do VFV. Yeah. So they built the Canada arm. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Now it makes sense what they do. I'll have to look into that one. Kind of neat. Interesting. So you've just been doing it for about a year. Yeah, I'm almost on my second year. So in April 1st, it will be, I started the channel on April 1st, 2021. So I will be 2 years in April. So along the same lines. Yeah, you learn the hard way, right? That's part of learning. And I guess just you don't put anything into investing that you can't afford to lose, or you need in certain other places, right? Or need, and you don't want it to go down, obviously. So yeah, but you learn. I'm definitely kind of more. Oops, I pulled your comment back up and down. I am trying to build my dividends up this year. Obviously, my TFSA. So. And use Wealthsimple. So VFE. Oh, you have ARC. Okay, you're one of the ones that have ARC. There's a couple people that I know have watched have bought ARC. I don't own it, and then Royal Bank, and is that BMG cover or BMO cover call? BMO. Is it the BM? What's the one from BMO? ZF something. And use Wealthsimple. Yeah, I think most people that are watching this use Wealthsimple, because my channel is kind of about it's kind of about Wealthsimple, anyways, because that's what I use. So that's what most of the viewers have. Yeah, Alan, you're welcome. Thanks for joining on. We talked about the CPI right at the beginning. So after the stream, head back there. You can see we had a bit of a chat on CPI. It is out, so you can definitely check that out on the replay. EQ Bank, is it EQ Bank? I think you meant EQ. Pays 5% on TFSA. I buy PSA just in the it's the purpose, and it pays 4.59% right now, which is I think decent for a high interest ETF. Yeah, that's what I have. And a few ARC. Okay, yeah, ARC. I mean, Kathy's interesting for sure. For sure, it's she's interesting to listen to. She's probably right, but it's holding through that volatility in the as the long term. You know, that's the hard part. For me, I just haven't bought into any of her stuff, but. There we go. BMO. Yeah. So BMO, what's the high dividend covered call one is let me just look here. I have it saved. Actually, no, I don't have it in the list. It's the what's the covered call? BMO. ZFL. Is it ZF? They have covered call with a lot of them. Let's find it. I can't remember. Someone will pop it up. ZWC. That's it. ZWC. Canadian high dividend covered call. I'm gonna add that one on there. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, ARC is down. It's tech, right? Or it's down. like a lot of things are down, right? A lot of anything kind of more risk assets are all down. ARC a lot more than other, but of course, with volatility like that can become the gains. That's for sure. So. And good talker. Anyways, thanks for that. I guess while we're here, we're almost kind of finishing up. Don't forget hit the like button if you're watching it. I didn't mention that earlier. Hit the like on the stream. It always helps out the channel, helps it get out there. It's coming up to 9 o'clock. I do go to work. For better or worse sometimes, but I do appreciate everybody taking the time in the morning. We will be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. So if you're new, and we've had a few visitors for the first time today, I will schedule a stream later on today, so you can go in there. If you're subscribed, hit the reminder. You'll get notified when the stream goes live tomorrow, but we will be on at 8 o'clock for Friday. So just want to, again, thanks to everybody for watching. As we head out, just don't forget to just hit the like button. That always kind of does help. So thanks everybody for joining. We'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks to everybody new. Thanks for all the regular coffee crews. It's always fun to do these. Maybe tomorrow we will have. Maybe tomorrow we'll actually have a sighting of the cat. Hard to know if she decides to jump up or not, but we'll have to see. And we'll leave it at that. So thanks, Candace. I always appreciate it. First in, and then last one to comment. We'll say with that. And your mission for tomorrow, Candace, is maybe find a new terrible pun joke. So have a great day, everybody. We'll catch you all in the next one tomorrow.